Hey everybody, welcome to Diablo 4 Season 1, where apparently everybody got buffed and the endgame is now trivial. Is that going to be a problem? No, I don't think so. I think more people enjoying the endgame is better for the game long term. So, what happened? How do we go from the worst patch of all time to something where everybody, I think, is going to be able to enjoy it? It starts with the first patch. On July 18th, a pre-patch was released before the season started. Everybody saw the patch notes. They latched on to how many nerfs there were. They looked at how many of the features that they requested were acknowledged. Not a lot. And there was a lot of hate coming out of the community. Blizzard responded to that pretty quickly in a few ways. The first of which was the Malignant Hearts having armor added to them. That was pretty big. People were worried about their survivability in the late endgame, and adding armor to these things kind of helped. That was 2 days after the patch went live. And then the real killer, and this is the change that is going to blow the season wide open, is a hotfix that happened on July 21st. So they completely revamped how Nightmare Dungeons scale, right? So before, a tier 100 was the hardest content in the game. It was really difficult. The damage output from these enemies was insane, and their health was insane, right? So not a lot of people were doing this content. They've now shifted the difficulty of a tier 100 down to a tier 70. So if you were doing tier 70 content in season 0, you will likely be able to clear a tier 100 this season. I say likely because the levels are still in play. So basically, if you jump into a tier 100, your armor is still going to apply to enemies of your level. So they're going to still be much higher level. They're just going to have so much less HP and so much less damage, right? So this change, as well as something that it snuck on into the patch notes, I don't even know if I can find it, fixed an issue where level scaling in the level 100 Pinnacle dungeon was inconsistent. So what this actually reads as is Uber Lilith also got nerfed. So all of the endgame content, Uber Lilith, as well as these Nightmare Dungeons, have been significantly nerfed in accordance to the players getting nerfed, right? So everybody was kind of worried, we're not going to do as much damage, we're going to take a ton of damage. That would have been true if they didn't also apply all these other nerfs. So I don't know why Blizzard did these, in this order, right? I don't know why they nerfed all the players and then nerfed all the content. Putting them together in one patch would have been fantastic. I think everybody would have understood what they were trying to do a lot better. It feels like the Blizzard devs are new to the RPG genre. If they're not, it feels like their community outreach at least is. Whoever is deciding how to handle what goes into these patch notes when they're put out there to the community, and then, their explanation for these patch notes seems like they don't have a good grasp on what's going to make the community happy, right? Because if you had done these patches, right, if you hotfixed this before the patch notes, I don't think anybody would have blinked, right? And to see how much hate they got versus, what we're actually about to play, it's kind of crazy. So I mentioned that I think everybody got stronger. Partly it's because of this hotfix, partly it's because of the seasonal mechanics. So we've been looking at some stuff. On paper, you can read certain hearts and think to yourself, oh, this is going to be strong. But in practice, some of them are going to be broken. So my character that I'm going to be rocking, I'm going to try to make it work as Creeping Death. I'm really excited for this build. I've coined the term Casino Barb, and you'll see why when I eventually put out a build guide for it. But this is what I'm looking at. This has been crazy for me already. I did not play any bleed builds from last league, really. I tried it out a little bit. I didn't enjoy it. This has made it viable for me. I'm rending everything at a level comparable to Whirlwind, Double Swing, Hoda, etc. while I was leveling. So I'm super happy with this one. Excited to see what people do with it. But the real killer is this one. So I was planning a build where I was using both. Turns out you can only use one Wrathful. So I'm going to have to figure out exactly what I'm doing. But the Barber is going to break the game. And instead of me just explaining it, let's watch this clip from Alk. This was from a little while ago of him getting jumped by the Butcher. He immediately Hodas a few mobs, which are absorbing the damage, and then all of a sudden the screen explodes, and that's it. Yep. Seems pretty busted, right? Not much more to say. This is going to be incredibly strong. It's a super world tier 3. So if you can find this, try it out. But outside of these super hearts, I think there's just a lot of quality of life coming from, the class-specific ones as well as some of the generic ones. But this is going to push us over the edge, right? So the nerfs in combination with these hearts, I think every build is going to be viable. And I'm not kidding. This is going to be a crazy season. If you felt like you weren't strong last season, you are going to feel strong this season. You're going to blow everything up. It's going to be fantastic. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I will catch you guys later.